Hello friends, this is Ayush, and in this video we'll be discussing questions from the quant section of CMAT 2018 slot 1 paper. We'll have questions from profit and loss, SI&CI, ratio proportion, allegations and mixtures, equations, functions, data interpretation, and trigonometry in this video. So let's begin with the same. There will be a total of 12 questions in the video. Let's get to the first question. Question number 1 is on the screen. It's a question from equations. We'll just try to solve it out. If A is between 0 and 1, which of the following statement is and are true, right? So we just need to check it out whether the statements are true or not, right? And it is given to us that A is between 0 and 1. So let's check out the first statement. If A is less than 1, A square will be less than 1 as well, right? So A square minus 1 will be less than 0, whereas the first statement says that A square minus 1 is greater than 0, which is a false statement, right? Second, A square plus 1. Okay. So considering the second situation, A can be any number which is greater than 0 and A is less than 1. So A is positive. If A is positive, A square will also be positive. And if we are adding A square to 1, the result will be positive. So second statement, A square plus 1 is greater than 0, is a correct statement. Let's get to the third value. If A lies between 0 and 1, then A square will be less than A, and A square minus A will be less than 0, whereas it is given to us as that A square minus A is greater than 0, which is a false statement. So only second statement is true. Another way to approach a question like this is we can assume whatever the value of A we want to. So let's take it to be 0.5. So for the first statement, it's 0.5 squared is 0.25 minus 1 greater than 0 minus 0.75 greater than 0 is a false statement. Second statement, A square will be 0.25 plus 1 greater than 0. 1.25 is greater than 0, which is a true statement. And third, A square minus A, so 0.25 minus 0.5 is greater than 0, minus 0.25 is greater than 0, which is a false statement again. So as we can see, only statement 2 is correct by both the methods. So for question number 1, the correct answer is option A, that is only 2. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 2 is on the screen. It's a question from data interpretation. Let's try to figure it out. What is given to us in the question is that the following pie chart provides the information about the revenue share of 6 companies, PQRST and U, as a percentage of total car market in the year 2010. These are the only 6 companies producing car in the market. Fine. Now the question is, if the revenue of company T increases by 20% in the year 2011. So when I'm talking about company T, this 14 is representing company T. A 20% increment in its market share means 20% of 14, which on solving gives us 28 upon 10, that's 2.8. So there is an increment of 2.8% in T's market share. Fine. What is asked to us in the question is that find the percentage increase in the revenue share of these 6 companies in year 2011, assuming that all the other companies except T generated the same revenue as in 2010. So 2010 May, the total revenue was 100. Now 2011 May, except T, all other companies are producing the same revenue, and in T there is an increment of 2.8%. So it will be 102.8%. So the percentage overall increment is 2.8 over 100 into 100. That turns out to be 2.8%. So for question number 2, the correct answer is option A, that's 2.8%. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 3 is on the screen. It's a question from SICI. So let's try to figure it out. In how many years 2 lakh will double itself at 11.5% per annum simple interest, right? So the principal is given to us as 2 lakhs. right? The amount is double, that is 4 lakh. So in case if we'll calculate the interest, that will be amount minus principal equals to 2 lakh. The rate of interest is 11.5% per annum, and we have to calculate the time. So as we know that the formula for SI is principal SI, that is 2 lakh is equals to principal into 11.5 into T upon 100. So this 2 lakh and 2 lakh will get cancelled out. T equals to 100 upon 11.5. If we solve this 100 upon 11.5, we'll get a value of 8.7 something, right? So this will be 8.7 approx. So as we can see from the options, the number of years required will be 8.7 something, that is between 8 and 9. So for question number 3, option B, between 8 and 9 years is the correct answer. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 4 is on the screen. It's again a question from equations only. So let's try to figure it out. AB plus C equal to D is the given equation where the value of B and D is given to us. Then B equal to 6. So putting the value of AB plus C equal to D, putting the value of B as 6, we'll have 6A plus C equal to D is 30. So this is the first equation that we are getting. Putting B equal to 8, we'll have 8A plus C equal to D equals to 36. In order to solve these two equations, what we'll do is we'll subtract the two equations. We'll have minus 2a equal to minus 6, because this C and C will get cancelled out. So minus a minus cancel. 2a equal to 6, we'll have a equal to 3. Now putting the value of a equal to 3 in the first equation, we'll have 6 into 3 is 18 plus c equal to 30, or c equal to 18 minus 30, that is 12. So the values of a and c are 3 and 12. So for question number 4, the correct answer is option B, A equal to 3 and B equal to 12. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 5 is on the screen. Let us try to figure it out. It's a question from inequalities, parts of equation only. So it is given to us that y square plus 3y minus 18 is greater than equal to 0. On splitting the middle term, we'll have y square plus 6y minus 3y minus 18 is greater than equal to 0. On taking y common from the first two parts, we'll have y plus 6 minus 3 common, we'll have y plus 6 greater than equal to 0. So taking y plus 6 common, we'll have y minus 3 greater than equal to 0. Now in order to solve an inequality like this, we have a simple solution for this. The product of two values is positive, which is possible in two cases. Either both the values are positive or both the values are negative. In order to simplify this equation, what we can do is we can draw a number line, and the simple solution for this is, if we'll take out the roots from the equation y plus 6, y minus 3 greater than equal to 0, we'll get y equal to minus 6 and y equal to 3. So these are the two critical points that we have for the given equation. So let me mark them, minus 6 and 3. Now what we can do is, since there is a greater than equal to sign, the rule says that we have to start from the rightmost column, have to put a positive sign in the rightmost column, and then negative sign and positive sign we have to vary it alternatively. The values where the columns or the areas where positive sign is present will be the solution part. So here y can lie between minus infinity to minus 6, that means y can be less than minus 6, or y can lie between 3 to infinity, that means y can be greater than 3. So the possible solution for question number 5 is option D, where y is greater than equal to 3 or less than equals to minus 6. Also an alternate approach for the same is that we can go by options and can put the values and then can check out, right? So just to check out the options, what we can do is we can assume any value in the given range. As we know that the option is 4 is the correct answer, we can assume a value in the given range and we can just take it out, right? Okay, let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 6 is on the screen. It's a question from data interpretation again. Let's just take it out. The following table shows the courier charges for sending 1 kilogram parcel from one city to another. Among the following, the charges will be the least for sending a parcel from. Now, there is nothing to solve about this particular question. We just need to observe and directly we'll get the answer. Ahmedabad to Jaipur. So for sending a parcel from Ahmedabad to Jaipur, the charges will be 10. From Mumbai to Bangalore, the Mumbai charges from Mumbai to Bangalore will be 25. Jaipur to Bangalore, the charges will be 10 again. Kolkata to Mumbai, the charges will be 7. When we are being asked upon the least charges are in option 4, that is Kolkata to Mumbai. So for question number 6, option 4, Kolkata to Mumbai is the correct answer. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 7 is on the screen. Let's try to figure it out. It's a question from ratio and proportion. We'll just solve it out. The three numbers x, y, z are in the ratio 12, 15, and 25. So after reading this equation, this statement, what we can form is x equals to 12k assume कर लेते हैं, y equals to 15k, and z equals to 25k. So we have just assumed the value of x, y, and z in terms of k. If the sum of twice of these numbers, that is 2 bracket में 12k plus 15k plus 25k is equals to 614, the ratio between the difference of y minus x upon z minus y. Now we need to find out this ratio, and in case if we have to find out this value only, this equation is of no use to us. We can even find out the value directly even without the help of this equation. What I'll do is I'll put y equal to 15k minus x equal to 12k upon z equals to 25k minus y equals to 15k. So in the numerator I'll have 3k, in the denominator I'll have 10k. This k and k will get cancelled out. I'll have the ratio as 3 upon 10, which is the correct answer for this question. So for question number 7, the correct answer is option C, that is 3 upon 10. 3:10 is the correct answer for this question. Let's go ahead to the next question. It's a question from ratio and proportion again. Let's try to take it out. The monthly income of Amit and Bharat are in the ratio 5:4. So what I'm doing is I'm assuming the monthly income of Amit to be 5x and that of Bharat to be 4x, right? These are the incomes that I have assumed for the two individuals, and their monthly expenses are in the ratio 19:21. So if I'm talking in terms of expenses, let it be A के लिए 19y and for B it will be 21y, right? So their annual savings are in the ratio 37:18. So talking about their savings for A can be 37z and for B it can be 18z, right? They are their monthly savings. If their total annual savings is 1,32,000, so total annual savings is 1,32,000. In case if I need to calculate total monthly savings, what I need to do is I have to divide it by a fifth 12, which will give us 11,000, right? So dividing this 11,000 in the ratio 37:18, I'll get 7,400, that is 37 upon 55 into 11,000. So this is 1 and this is 200. This will be 200, right? So 200 into 37 is 74,100, and for B it will be 3,600. So let us frame the equation. A is earning 5x and expenditure is 19y, so savings should be 7,400. B is earning 4x and the expenditure is 21y, so the difference should be equal to 3,600. In order to solve these two equations, what I'll do is I'll multiply the first equation by 4. I'll have 20x minus 76y equal to, multiplying 74 by 4, I'll have 29600. Multiplying the second equation by 5, I'll have 20x minus 105y equal to, multiplying 3600 by 5, I'll have 18000. Right? So in case if I'm going to subtract the two equations, 20x and 20x will get cancelled out. This will be 76 minus 76y plus 105y, that will be 29y. equal to, if I'm subtracting the 2, I'll have 11600, right? So y will be equals to 11600 upon 29, which is equals to 400. What is being asked upon in the question is that we have to calculate Amit's monthly income. So putting the value in this equation where 5x is Amit's monthly income, I'll have 5x minus 19 and y is 400. So 19 into 400 is 7600 equal to 7400. On solving, I'll have 5x, which is the monthly income of Amit, equals to 7600 plus 7400, which is 15,000. So for question number 8, the correct answer is 15,000. That is option B. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 9 is on the screen. Let's try to figure it out. It's a question from trigonometry. So trigonometry is a topic which is rarely asked in MBA entrance examinations. But yes, being a part of this, and more or less, it is less based on the concept of trigonometry. It is more based on the properties of algebraic identities. So let's try to figure it out. 10a plus cot a is given to us as root 5. And what we need to calculate is 10 cube a plus cot cube a. So applying the property of a cube plus b cube as a plus 10a plus b, a square plus b square minus ab. Okay, we need to have a basic idea about the property that 10a into cot a is equals to 1, right? So putting the value 10a plus cot b, as we know, that's equals to root 5, so we can put the value as root 5, and this will be 10 square a plus cot square a minus 1, since 10 into cot a is equals to 1. What I'll do is I'll add 2 and subtract 2 in this bracket value, 10 square a plus cot square a plus 2 minus 2 minus 1, right? This can further be written as root 5 bracket में 10 square a plus cot square a plus 2 10a cot a. Since 10a into cot a equals to 1, so I can multiply it by simply 10a cot a, and this will be minus 3. This 10 square a plus cot square a plus 2 10a cot a will form an equation, will form an expression of 10a plus cot a whole square minus 3. So this will be root 5. 10a plus cot a is root 5, and root 5 square is 5. So 5 minus 3. So 5 minus 3 is 2. We'll have the final answer as 2 root 5. So the expression 10 cube a plus cot cube a will result into a value of 2 root 5. So for question number 9, the correct answer is option C, 2 root 5. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 10 is on the screen. It's a question from profit and loss, including the concept of discount. So let's try to figure it out. Two balls were bought for rupees 37.40 at a discount of 15%. So let the MRP MP of the two balls be X, and a discount of 15% was offered. So the selling price of the two balls should be equals to 85% of X, which is 37.40. So if I try to get the value of X, I'll have 37.40 into 100 upon 85. I'll remove the decimal and I'll have 100 in denominator. This 100 and 100 will get cancelled out. If I'll cancel it by 5, I'll have 17. If I'll cancel it by 5, I'll have 7. 24 means 4, and then 47, 48. If I'll cancel it by 7, I'll have 1. This will be 4 just 68. I'll be left with 6 and 68 again, so it will be 4. So X equal to 44 means the MRP of two balls together was 44. If I have to calculate individual MRP of each ball, per ball the MRP will be half of 44. That will be equals to 22. So 22 will be the correct answer for question number 10. Question number 10, option B, 22 rupees is the correct answer. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 11, which is a question from functions. Modulus based question is there. So we'll just try to solve it out. The question is modulus of 2a minus 3 equal to 3a plus 2. As we know that this modulus can be opened into two ways, as the first way is to open it directly. 2a minus 3 equal to 3a plus 2. If I'll solve it, I'll have a equal to minus 5, right? And the second way is to put a negative sign outside the bracket and then open it. So this will be minus 2a plus 3 equal to 3a plus 2. I'll have 5a equals to 1, or a equals to 1 by 5. So we have got two different values of a as minus 5 and 1 by 5. Now we need to take it out which value is correct and which is not, right? So for this condition, for 2a minus 3 to be positive, a needs to be greater than 2a needs to be greater than 3, and a needs to be greater than 3 by 2. But as we can see, a is turning out to be minus 5, means this is not a possible value of a in this case. So the correct answer for question number 11 should be a equals to 1 by 5. So for question number 11, a option 1 by 5 is the correct answer. Let's go ahead to the next question. Question number 12 is on the screen. It's a question from allegations and mixtures based on the concept of replacement formula. Right. From a jar containing 32 liters, 4 liters is drawn out and the jar is filled with water. If the same proportion of wine is further drawn out two more times, what proportion of wine will be left there in the resulting mixture? So for this particular case, what we can apply is the replacement formula. If we have to calculate, the formula states that wine finally left, that is something we have to calculate. So let it be W upon wine initially was 32 equals to total quantity was 32 minus quantity withdrawn was 4 upon 32, and the process was repeated 3 times because this was the first time and it was drawn 2 more times. So a total of 3 times the process was repeated. So it will be W upon 32 equals to, this will be 28 upon 32 power 3. So W upon 32 equal to 7 upon 8, and 7 upon 8 ka cube, it's 343 upon 512. So we'll have the final volume of wine, let it be Wi for wine, so that we won't have that confusion of wine and water. So that will be 32 into 343 upon 512. If we need to calculate water, what I'll do is, for water, we'll subtract the portion of wine from the total volume, that's 32. So that will be 343 upon 512. If I'll take the LCM to be 512, I'll have 32 into 512 minus 32 into 343. So I'll take this 32 common. I'll have 512 minus 343, that is 169 upon 512. Right. If we are being asked upon to take the ratio of wine upon water, we'll have wine as 32 into 343 upon 512, and 32 upon 32 into 169 upon 512. So this 32 and 512 will get cancelled out in both the cases. We'll finally have the ratio as 343 upon 169, which is the correct answer for this question. So for question number 12, the correct answer is option B, 343 upon 169. So with this, we are done with the 12 questions of the topics mentioned in the video. Thank you for watching the video.